So hey anime fans, the series name is What If Naruto x Tenten x Anko Harem, so this is second part of the series. So let's start the series. Gato sat back in his huge wingback chair leaning back as he wore a smug arrogant smirk on his face. He was so pleased with himself for outsmarting Zabuza that he didn't even notice Tenten slip in. She was under a special jutsu that made you invisible that she learned from a certain super pervert as she pulled out a kunai and slit the throats of Gato's two guards, making sure she lowered their dead weight, so they didn't make a sound. Once done, she stealthily glided across the floor, making her way to where Gato was sitting. The weapons mistress got behind Gato. She pulled out her katana and in one fluid movement sliced right through the chair and Gato's neck. The head as well as the chair remained intact. The only thing that was different was the blood oozing from the neck from the clean slice Tenten had made in Gato's neck. After she was done cleaning and sheathing her katana, Tenten rummaged through Gato's desk and found some very interesting things. Back on the bridge, Kakashi was fighting Zabuza while Sasuke was trapped in a dome of ice mirrors, becoming a pincushion. The hunter-nin dumped water all over the battlefield thanks to some storage scrolls, then with some hand signs created her ice mirrors. Temari and Naruto were standing there with Temari resting her weight on her battle fan and Naruto watching Sasuke's futile effort with a bit of amusement. They were waiting for their moment and Sakura was getting annoyed that they weren't doing anything to help her precious Sasuke. Shino just stood there sticking to Firestorm's plan and guarding the bridge builder. "Why aren't you doing anything?" the pink-haired girl asked. "We're just waiting for the right time," Temari said, leaning on her battle fan looking bored. "But Sasuke," Sakura whined. Tenten appeared from out of nowhere it seemed. "Hey," she greeted. Sakura screamed and fell on her, but Naruto and Temari turned and smiled at the weapons mistress. Naruto kissed Tenten on the cheek to greet her, while Temari just smiled at her in greeting. "So?" he asked. "Mission was a success," Tenten said brightly. "Excellent," Naruto said. "What's going on here?" Tenten asked, gesturing to the dome of mirrors in front of her. "The plan went screwy with Super Emo charging in. We haven't had a chance to take out the fake hunter-nin since we don't want to hurt the emo," Temari said. Tenten just stared at Temari. "Fine, I want to hurt the emo, but it would be kind of counterproductive if we did that," Temari said, pouting. "Temari, time's come," Naruto said. Temari nodded and placed her battle fan on her back and pulled her two smaller fans she had in holsters on her belt. She pulled them out and opened them up. She channeled some wind chakra and blew away several needles that were flying at Sasuke. "How come you didn't do that before?" Sakura asked. "Didn't feel like. Besides, the emo needed a lesson about obeying orders. We're the superior officers. As special genin we're of higher rank than the usual genin," Naruto said. He then used a substitution jutsu and switched himself with the pincushion Sasuke. Sakura cradled the boy's body as soon as he appeared and started fussing over him. "I pity him," Tenten said. "Yeah, she's shrieking right into his ear," Temari said. Back in the mirror dome, Naruto was dodging barrages of needles. But what helped him was Temari was using her mini fans to blow away several needles that were aimed at Naruto. "No way in hell will this fake hurt her, Naruto." Naruto grinned as he had to somewhat thank the emo for tiring out the fake hunter-nin. He knew this jutsu was a powerful one, thus it'd take a heck of a lot of chakra to maintain it. The fake hunter-nin knew this and knew she couldn't hold on much longer and took her mirrors down. That proved to be a mistake as Temari waited for this, and as soon as the mirrors were gone she put her small fans back and pulled out her big one and kicked up a huge gale force wind that turned into a cyclone. This caused the fake hunter-nin get caught up in the vortex of swirling winds and getting nicked by the cutting winds. By the time Temari cancelled her attack, the fake hunter-nin had several cuts all over her body, but none were severe at all. When she landed, she was trying to control her breathing since the pain of the cuts stung like hell. Naruto walked over and pressed the pressure point, knocking the fake hunter-nin out. He then carried her over his shoulder back to the group. "Mission accomplished. How goes Kakashi's battle?" Naruto asked, dropping the hunter-nin on the ground. "He's just finishing up," Tenten said as she tied up the fake hunter-nin as well heal all the cuts. The sounds of birds chirping was heard and they knew that was the end of the fight. Kakashi then came walking back with a bloody hand. He saw that fake hunter-nin was still alive, but didn't question Naruto's decision at all. He did see Sasuke was hurt, but alive, and that was fine by him. "We done?" he asked. "Yup, congratulations Tazuna. You can finish the bridge in peace," Naruto said. Tazuna was speechless at what had just witnessed. After the battle on the bridge, things calmed down. Sasuke was bedridden to recover from his pincushion experience. He was angry of what he heard happened after he was taken out, of how Naruto and Temari was able to defeat the fake hunter-nin when he couldn't. He had to get that power. Also the fact that he had not awakened his Sharingan at all during the fight made him even angrier. Sakura hovered by his bedside fussing all over him, which only increased his ire even more. Tenten presented Tizuna with the account numbers of all Gato's bank accounts. She told them it was a jump start to get Wave back on its feet. Tizuna was in tears as he held the scroll like it was a holy artifact. It didn't take long after that, with Wave now being free, that the bridge was now complete. There were celebrations of the demise of Gato, with Firestorm being in the center of it. Tizuna let it be known to everyone who brought the end of Gato. Team Firestorm was uncomfortable with all the attention they were getting since they were just doing a job. This wasn't the first time they saved a village, but they still weren't used to the attention. This of course made Sasuke angry too, since in his delusion mind he was supposed to be worshipped and everything, not Team Firestorm. They found out the hunter-nin's name was Haku, and she was most likely the last of her bloodline thanks to the Kiri bloodline purge going on. Gara stopped Haku from committing suicide for failing her master's Abuza and no longer having a use anymore. Gara and Haku spent a lot of time together, and it was decided she would come back to Konoha with them. Also they found that Gato had sent men after Tsunami to hold her hostage. Gara and Kankuro easily dispatched the two that came for Tsunami, since they were in no way prepared to take on well-trained shinobi. There were after that a few skirmish with some of Gato's men that tried to take over for their master's spot, but Firestorm took them down, and then eliminated a lot of the mercenaries that were still around. They deemed that this would help in the rebuilding of Wave, to hack off the diseased parts to let new life grow. Well, that's what Gara said. Soon it was time to leave Wave, and they got a big send-off at the end of the bridge. They said their goodbyes, then headed back to Konoha. Haku walked close right by Gara the whole trip, which amused the rest of Firestorm. Once back in Konoha they gave their reports and then got a week off. Hiruzen listened to it all and gave Haku a position in the ranks, since she wasn't ever a registered kunoichi and was made a Chunin. He did this after hearing Firestorm's report on her skills, and he deemed she was strong enough for the Chunin position, since her becoming a genin wouldn't match her skills she had. Haku decided to stay with Gara and the rest of Firestorm since she didn't have any place to go. Firestorm agreed with Tenten and Temari, the more vocal of the team. They liked the girl a lot. Firestorm knew what to do with their week off, since after Team 7 left, Hiruzen had them stay, and he gave Naruto the keys to his parents' home. He thought it was time, since he deemed Naruto old enough and strong enough, so Team Firestorm and Haku went to find their new home. "This can't be it," Tenten said in shock and awe. Temari was the same as she stared at the compound. It was huge. It was spread across several acres that was wooded in the back. It was not only big, but also quite nicely maintained for a place that hadn't been inhabited for years. Though you had to thank preservation seals for that. Naruto couldn't wait to check those out. Plus, Hiruzen had planned on this and had a few genin teams clean the compound for Firestorm's moving in. Kankuro whistled. "Damn, I am so going to love living here," he said. Gara was amazed by the home, but said nothing. Haku just stared in awe, since she had never seen anything like it. "Come on, we're not going to get anything done just standing and staring all day," Naruto said, being the first to shake out of his stupor. It took some time, but they explored the house and called dibs on rooms. There were so many that it was kind of hard to pick. The team wasn't sure what they'd do with all the extra rooms, but they'd decide on that later. Naruto claimed the master bedroom with both Tenten and Temari, stating that they'd be sleeping there too. Naruto was bright red at this. Kankuro and Gara ignored this since they knew this was coming, though Tenten and Temari picked out their very own rooms since they knew they would need their own space. They just made sure their rooms were as close to Naruto's as possible. Kankuro picked a room and claimed the room next to it as his workroom for his puppets. Now he had a nice room to work, and he wouldn't get the living room messy from all of his working and getting the wrath of both Temari and Tenten for dirtying up the living room once again with his little dolls. Gara chose a room that was close to the garden since he deemed it as peaceful. Haku's room was right next to Gara's. There wasn't a worry about bathrooms either, since their new home had plenty of those too. They had more than enough to claim one on their own and still have a few left. After that they had to pack up all the stuff they had in their old home and move it. Naruto helped by providing many kagebushin. Gara helped in this effort. So what would have taken a huge amount of time was cut dramatically in half. The week Firestorm had off was made setting up their new home and getting used to such a large space, plus to get to know Haku even more. Even the Sand siblings, who were used to living in the Kazekage manor, was in awe of the splendor that was the Namikaze compound. Each of them set up their rooms the way they liked it. Gara's room had a bed, several bookcases since Gara loved to read, and that meant he had a lot of books and many bookcases. He had a dresser, and on top of that was pictures of the team, and then individual ones alongside them. Kankuro's room was a mess with spare puppet parts, work plans for new puppets, and clothes dirty and clean everywhere. Though he did have a workshop right next door, his bedroom was still a mess since he always brought his work to his room. Going between his workshop and his bedroom was made easier to access since Naruto had a joined door connecting Kankuro's room to his workshop added. Haku's room was nicely decorated with subtle female tones. She didn't have many girly things at all, and considering she had always been on the move with Zabuza, she didn't have many possessions to begin with. This was rectified when Tenten and Temari took Haku shopping. Tenten's room had weapons all over her room, hanging on walls. Now these weren't for just decoration. No, they all could be used. Tenten's reasoning was, what's the point of having a pointy metal things hanging on the wall when you can't use them? She didn't have much in the way of girly things in her room. The most girly thing was a plushie, and that was of a plushie kunai Naruto had bought her. Temari's room wasn't really decorated at all. She had a small box garden with desert lilies and roses in them. Naruto had gotten seeds for them as a birthday present for her. She had her mother's old battle fan hanging on the wall. Naruto had bought her own battle fan, which she uses. Naruto's room had a combination of Tenten and Temari's handiwork. Naruto really didn't care about how the room looked as long as it didn't look too girly, which wasn't a problem when you had two strong and independent kunoichi as girlfriends. There were light feminine touches, but nothing overt. Naruto was curious to all the seals his father had placed around the place, and made a huge effort to study and understand each one. Thankfully his father left him scrolls on the protections he put on and around the home. This also gave Naruto incentive to improve on his father's designs to make them stronger and better. He worked on these in his study, which he had claimed right after claiming the master bedroom. Naruto was very nervous sleeping with Tenten and Temari since it would be the first time ever they all slept together in one bed. They never had done this before. So on the first night Naruto was stiff as a board in bed between the two girls. He was so afraid of touching something he wasn't supposed to. The girls found it amusing, but knew Naruto would never get to sleep, so they did what they could to relax him. It got better after the first night, but Naruto was still a bit tense even after a week. During the day the six would relax and have fun. Kankuro would be in his new workshop having a ball creating new puppets and not worrying about Temari and Tenten scolding and glaring at him for making a mess in the living room where he used to work on his puppets. Tenten and Temari were enjoying the expansive backyard to train and relax. They would also spend girl time with Haku, who was very new to this concept, but was having fun with Temari and Tenten. While Naruto and Gara would play shogi inside, or when not doing that Gara would be meditating in the garden and Naruto in the library reading up on the seals around the compound. Haku got a post in the hospital and worked there. It took her some time to get used to her new surroundings, but Gara and Firestorm helped her a lot. She was happy with how her life was going right now and felt very close to Gara. Hiruzen and Kenshii were having a serious discussion. The Kazekage came over to see how the kids were doing and check out their new home. He was very impressed by it and loved how the five were getting along. He also saw the attraction Haku had for Gara and chuckled at how clueless Gara was of it. But now he and Hiruzen were in the Hokage office talking about some more future plans they had for the five. Well, Hiruzen, I believe it's time for a promotion for the five, Kenshii said. I believe you're right. But the Chunin exams are coming up and they could enter and become Chunin that way, Hiruzen said. I don't believe that would be wise. Firestorm is more experienced and would have the advantage over all the other teams, Kenshii said. Hiruzen nodded. He could see Kenshii's thinking and how Firestorm would have the great advantage over the other genin teams that would be participating. It would be very unfair to the other villages to do such a thing, though other villages would be sending their best genin. Firestorm was just too good to be even placed in the category of the genin that would be entering the Chunin exams. Even the teams that other villages would send were ringers. Then how about we make them Chunin now? We're both here and we can promote them before you go, Hiruzen suggested. I like it, Kenshii said. The two shook hands, sealing the deal. Both Kages knew that they had the power to promote any of their shinobi anytime they feel like they've reached a certain point to be moved up to the next level. Just the Chunin and Jounin exams were made for those who needed to show they've grown enough to be a capable Chunin or Jounin. Plus it was a way of showing off to the other villages their strongest up-and-coming shinobi. Also it was a way for the hosting village to make money from everyone coming to see the exams. It was a great tourist booster. The ceremony for Firestorm being promoted to Chunin had little fanfare, but that was alright with them. They had both Kages as well as several Jounin present as well as Haku when they got their flak jackets, which were green with brown accents to show that they were Chunin not only of Konoha, but Suna as well. Congratulations, you are now Chunin, Hiruzen said, smiling proudly at the five. Kenshia looked on too, smiling also. He was so proud of his children, which he included Tenten and Naruto as his children. Firestorm bowed to both Kages. Haku hugged Gara, who was shocked at the interaction. Kenshia smirked upon seeing this and glad his son seemed to have someone even though his son was still clueless about it all. Kankuro chuckled at his brother's predicament, while Tenten and Temari were planning. Naruto shook his head and wondered when Gara would come to him for help. Once the week was up, Firestorm were back on duty and doing missions while Haku was busy working in the hospital. They had some interaction with the other genin teams, but nothing major since their team up with Team 7, they mainly saw them around in the village. But as Chunin now, that meant they were quite busy, busier than they were before. They took on more missions and assisted in other things. They heard rumors of the Chunin exams and were very curious about them. They wanted to see these genin, and see if they had what it took to be Chunin, as well as they wondered how many Konoha genin will be entered since Konoha was hosting this time. Hello there, Firestorm, long time, eh? The 5 members turned and saw it was Team 7. Hello Kakashi, how are you and your team? Naruto asked. Been doing well, congratulations on your promotion, Kakashi said with an eye smile. Thanks, Kankuro said. The members of Team 7 saw the Chunin flak jackets on Firestorm and a certain emo became enraged. How could they promote you and not me? I am an Uchiha. I am the elite, the emo brooded. Yes, Sasuke should be a Chunin, not you, Sakura shrieked. Simple, they have a no emo policy, Gara said in a deadpan tone. Tenten and Temari giggled at this while Kankuro laughed his ass off. Naruto chuckled and shook his head. Gara rarely jokes, but when he does he's found to have a good sense of humor. Sasuke is 10 times better than you, Sakura screeched. Damn, thought we rid that annoyance and wave, Kankuro muttered as he rubbed his ears. Guess we need to do remedial training, Temari said as she pulled out her battle fan. Tenten nodded as she began pulling out kunai and shuriken. Sakura squeaked and hid behind Sasuke, who tried to shrug her off. Now I don't think hurting my student will teach her anything, Kakashi said, though he would pay good money for Tenten and Temari to train Sakura from shrieking. You never know, Kakashi, it could help, Tenten said as she placed the kunai and shuriken back in her weapons pouch, as Temari placed her fan back where it belonged. So where are you going? Naruto asked, changing the subject. We just finished AD rank and on our way to report. How about you? Kakashi asked. Finished with a simple C rank and taking a nice break, Naruto said. Sasuke brooded and muttered to himself how he was being held back and not getting better missions to get more powerful and stronger to beat his brother. Shino, who had remained silent through this all, just observed. It was better not to say a thing and get screeched at. Well, you'd better report. See you all later, Naruto said. The 2 teams parted ways with Sasuke glaring at Naruto. It was the start of the Chunin exams and things seemed to be moving smoothly. Firestorm's mission was to keep an eye on things. With so many people coming and going to the village, that meant security was a big issue. Man, this is boring, Kankuro whined. I'll have to agree with you on that, Temari said with a sigh. They really did nothing but security checks, which were quite a pain. But they knew this was a very serious mission, and they had to be sharp. It could be so easy to sneak into the village during this time with people from all over coming and going. Team Firestorm? The 5 turned to see an Umbu. Yes, Umbu? Naruto asked. The Hokage wishes to see you, the Umbu said, then shunshined away. Well, let's see what the old man wants, Naruto said. Gara was the first to follow Naruto by the other 3. They soon made it to the Hokage tower and to the Hokage office. Ah, Firestorm, come in, Hiruzen said with a smile. What can we do for you, Lord Hokage? Gara asked. A mission. I want you 5 to be part of the group of Chunin to watch over the first part of the exams. You'll report to Ibiki Marino for instructions, Hiruzen said. The 5 nodded, then left, heading to Umbu headquarters, then to the TI department. When they got there, they were shown to Ibiki's office. Ah, Team Firestorm, I've heard a lot about you. The head of the TI department said in greeting. We've heard much about you as well, Gara said. I see. Well, let's get down to business, Ibiki said. The 5 nodded, awaited instruction. The first part of the test is to see how well these genin can gather information during a stressful situation. What is going to happen is there will be a test of 10 questions, but there will only be 9 of them written. I will also place many restriction on them in the form of rules to prevent cheating and see how they can get around that by using just what they have on themselves. The rules will tie them to their teams, so if one fails they all fail, which is how it is in the real world. I'll give the genin an hour to work, then after the hour I will give them the final question. What you are to look for is this: genin that can gather info discreetly without giving anything away, Ibiki said. So you're going to put pressure on these genin with a test? Naruto asked. Yes, but the questions on the test will be far above their level, hence they'll need to find a way to cheat and not be caught. This will simulate them being in unknown lands and trying to gather info without arousing suspicion, Ibiki said. There'll be Chunin disguised taking the tests. They'll be the genin's targets. So we're to look for those who can cheat without being caught. What about those who are obvious? Tenten asked. Ibiki grinned in a sinister way. Firestorm sat with the other Chunin and Jounin stationed around the room watching the genin. They made notes on who was doing what and everything. It was a good test for them and their observation skills. They sighed and shook their heads at the teams that were eliminated being caught cheating. They just didn't have what it took to be Chunin so early in their shinobi careers. They were also surprised at how many rookie teams from Konoha there were in the exam. They had heard about it, but seeing was totally different. In the end they shook their heads. Most of the rookies were clan heirs, which meant they had to be on display to show Konoha's might. Once the hour was up and Ibiki began with his mind games, Firestorm just sat back and watched the master work. They took notes on how he did it. It was amazing how many cracked. When there was no more that left, Ibiki shocked them all by passing them, and Firestorm had to hold back their laughter at the expressions of complete shock on the genin's faces. Once the test was explained, there was a crash and a black ball barreled through, and Firestorm sighed when they saw who it was. No one but Anko would ever make such an entrance. After Anko led the genin out, Firestorm left wondering what the next part of the test was and why it would be held in the Forest of Death. The five knew of the place since it was well known to all Konoha shinobi as the scariest place ever. Well, that was interesting, Kankuro said, stretching. I agree, there were a few teams that might become Chunin, Gara said. Yeah, but I think it was a bad idea for those rookies to be put through the test. This can get them killed, Tamari said. Tenten nodded in agreement. They haven't been out of the academy long enough to be used to the stress of being a ninja. This was too much for them, she said. If they are, then it's their sensei's fault for not training them enough and being stupid enough to think they can compete at this level with just several months out of the academy, Naruto said. Firestorm was relaxing as they waited for the second part of the exam was over, which took 5 days. Haku was with them enjoying a day off from the hospital. She was sitting by Gara, and if she were any closer she'd be lying against him. Gara didn't seem to notice this at all. That's a bit cold, don't you think, Naruto? Tenten asked. It is. But remember, we're shinobi, and in our line of work we don't have a lot of time to be emotional, Gara said. Yeah, but we're still human, which means ridding ourselves of all emotions would make us lifeless, Tamari argued. I am not saying that we should be mindless killing machines. We just need to keep our emotions in check when on a mission or in a fight. Emotions are a double-edged sword, Gara said. That's deep, Gara, Tenten said. I read a lot of psychology books, Gara said with a shrug. An Umbu appeared. Team Firestorm, you are to report to the Hokage's office in the tower in the middle of the Forest of Death, the Umbu said. Well, breaks over, Naruto said, standing up. The other four followed and they all shined away. Haku got up and left since there was nothing to do now. When they got to the tower they found out why they were called. Naruto, it appears my old student Orochimaru has come back and has marked Sasuke Uchiha with one of his curse marks. I need you to contain it, Hiruzen said in a tired voice. Okay, where is he? Naruto asked. He was then led with Tenten by his side since she knew about seals almost as much as him. They got to the infirmary where Sasuke was lying. Kakashi was there standing guard. Yo, Naruto greeted. Kakashi nodded to Naruto and Tenten. The two nodded back, then moved in and examined the mark. Looks more advanced than the one Anko has, Tenten said. It is. But we can use hers as a base since it's bound to be the same in some parts, Naruto said. Tenten nodded. Kakashi just stood back watching the two work and hoped they could do something. Naruto and Tenten chatted for several minutes, then looked up confidently. I think we got something. Tenten, get the sealing supplies, Naruto said. Tenten nodded and then pulled out a scroll and put some chakra into it to reveal what they needed. Let's get to work, Naruto said. The two began working on a seal to contain the curse seal on Sasuke's neck. Kakashi said nothing, not wanting to disturb the process at all. He watched as they paused every once and while to talk about something that was way above his head to even understand. Okay, here we go, Naruto said. He then placed his hand over the newly drawn seal, and began pouring chakra into it to seal it. Sasuke shuddered a bit, but made no noise at all. When it was over, Tenten looked over the work and nodded. He should be fine now, she said. Kakashi nodded and the two left. They arrived back at the Hokage's temporary office in the Forest of Death. All done, Naruto said. Good, Hiruzen said with much relief in his voice. Yeah, we weren't able to get rid of it since we weren't sure what kind of fail-safes there might be. So we used a special seal to contain it, and we added several fail-safes to our seal just in case someone tries to tamper with it in any way, Tenten said. This seal runs on small amounts of the Uchiha's own chakra, so it should keep him safe, Naruto said. You should still be careful even though we contain the seal. We still don't know enough about it to be confident that the seal won't affect the Uchiha in any way, Tenten said. Hiruzen nodded and would pass that information on to Kakashi as well to Mikoto and Itachi so they could keep an eye on Sasuke and his behavior. He was so glad that Naruto and Tenten were so skilled in Fuinjutsu since with his old student Jiraiya off manning his spy network and writing his books, that meant they didn't have a seal master in Konoha regularly. Good, the second part of the exam is almost over. How about you stick around and watch, he suggested. Naruto looked at his team for their responses. Sure, sounds like fun, Kankuro said. It would be interesting to see who made it, Gara said. Nothing better to do really, Temari said. Sure, Tenten said. Naruto nodded and turned back to Hiruzen. We're in, he said. Team Firestorm stood with several Jounin as they saw the genin that made it through the forest. They were surprised to see all the rookie teams there. They didn't think they'd have made this far. They then heard that there were too many applicants, and they needed to whittle down since there'd be many people coming to see the finals and it would be boring to have so many battles. So a prelims was going to be held right away. It irked them that these genin were going to be used as showpieces in the finals. They were shinobi, not trained circus dogs for the masses to enjoy. But they said nothing since it wasn't their place to say. They first watched as Sasuke fought against another Konoha shinobi. Huh, what do you know? They have gotten better, Kankuro said. It seems so, Gara said. They were watching each round with mild interest. They were disgusted at the display that Sakura and Ino put on. Tenten and Temari were growling since these two girls were giving Kunoichis a bad name. They watched as the two Hyugas squared off and the male Hyuga belittled Hinata, shattering her already fragile confidence. That bastard, I'm going ram a rusty kunai up his ass, Tenten growled. Yeah, he has no right to be so cruel to Hinata, Temari said, glaring at Neji Hyuga. I highly doubt that stuck-up brat has any more room up his butt since it seems he has a pretty big fate-shaped pole already up it, Kankuro said. Naruto snickered at this. Gara watched this. But he didn't like how the match was going. He hated how it seemed that these two family members were fighting and one was trying to kill the other. One thing he learned from Naruto was that family was precious, and you should protect it. Something that this Neji wasn't doing. As Neji went in for the kill, Tenten and Temari dashed in quicker than any Jounin or Anbu with Naruto, Gara and Kankuro following about a nanosecond behind. Tenten had her katana out in a reverse grip, the blade right at Neji's neck. Temari had pulled a kunai out, and it was aimed at his groin. Naruto, Gara and Kankuro were there to make sure the two girls don't make good on their threats. The Jounin there were shocked at seeing how quickly Firestorm reacted. Move a step closer to her, and you can say goodbye to your life, Tenten growled. Temari said nothing, but pushed the edge of her kunai closer to Neji's family jewels. It looks even other shinobi are under the command of the main house, Neji sneered. We're under no command except the Hokage and Kazekage. We stopped you from harming a friend, Temari said as she pushed the blade of the kunai harder into Neji's groin. That's enough, the match is over. Team Firestorm released Neji, Hiruzen said. Yes, Lord Hokage, Tenten and Temari said. They removed their weapons and gave Neji one last murderous look before looking to Hinata, who was being cared for by Haku. How is she? Temari asked. She's hurt badly, looks like severe organ damage, but I think she'll make it, Haku said. Tenten and Temari vowed some kind of vengeance against Neji. The rest of the matches were interesting, though the last one was creepy given the Konoha-nin that was in the last match was wearing green spandex like his sensei, and was shouting about flames of youth. None of Firestorm knew what this youth thing was, but hoped it wasn't contagious. Once that match was over, the remaining shinobi selected numbers to see whom they'd be up against in the finals. Once that was done, Firestorm left since they had a month before the finals would be had. So what do you think their chances are? Kankuro asked. It was later that night and Firestorm along with Haku were lounging in the living room after a nice dinner that Haku had made. It turned out Haku was a very good cook and she didn't mind making the meals for them all. That helped since Tenten was the one who usually did the cooking. Temari was an alright cook, but Kankuro could burn water and Gara just didn't cook at all. Naruto had minimal cooking skills. The Nara probably has the most likely chance of becoming Chunin, Naruto said. That lazy bum? He's too damn lazy. I thought he was going to forfeit when he had a chance in the prelims, Temari said. He does look very unmotivated, Tenten agreed. Yeah, but remember that the Nara clan, though not known for their battle prowess, are known for their great tactics and strategy. That's why Shikaku Nara is the head tactician for the Konoha shinobi forces, Naruto said. Yeah, and this Nara is said to be the smartest of the whole clan, Kankuro added in. I guess, Temari said. She still thought that the Nara was a lazy ass and would love to kick that laziness out of him one of these days. What about the Inuzuka? Haku asked. He's okay. But too brash and jumps into action too fast without thinking to be a Chunin now. He needs to learn to calm down, Gara said. The others agreed. What about the weirdo in green spandex? Kankuro asked. He has very amazing taijutsu. But that's it? To be a Chunin you need to have more skills than that. He's going to have a hard time in the finals, Gara said. Though he could just scare his opponent with his shouting and acting all weird like Naruto said with a chuckle. That's just plain scary, Naruto. Did you see his sensei? They looked alike and that's even creepier, Tenten said. Yeah, one was bad, but two of them is unnatural, Temari said. Hey Tenten, imagine that you could have been on his team if you'd went through the academy like everyone else, Kankuro said. Tenten shivered. Now that's a thought I don't want to think about. I don't know how I'd keep my sanity being paired up with those two, she said. Well, that didn't happen at all, Naruto said as he wrapped an arm around Tenten's shoulders. Tenten smiled. But makes you think though, what team would Naruto be on if he didn't come to Suna? Temari asked. Knowing my luck I'd be stuck with the emo and the banshee, Naruto said with a snort. And the chronically late one-eyed Jounin, Tenten added in. Oh my god, that sounds like some kind of stupid kids show, Kankuro said. They all had a laugh at this. And the Uchiha? Haku asked. No way, he's got enough of an ego and besides he'd be too dangerous to be even given a higher rank at the moment, Naruto said. I agree. The Uchiha doesn't have what it takes to be Chunin. Besides I'd be afraid he'd stab me in the back on a mission, Tenten said. It's not up to us to decide who'll make Chunin. But I feel only the Nara has the makings as of right now, Gara said. So what are we going to do for a month? Kankuro asked. Well, Tenten and I have plans, Temari said. Tenten nodded with a scary grin. You're still going to go through with that? Naruto asked. Of course, Naruto. That damn Neji will get what's coming to him for hurting Hinata like that. I don't give a damn that he's her cousin. No one should hurt their family like that, Tenten said firmly. Okay, just don't get caught, kill him, or leave him physically unable to continue as a shinobi. He may be a total ass and all, but he's still a fellow shinobi and he needs to compete in the finals, Naruto said. The two girls nodded as they began planning. The three boys shivered as they heard snippets of the girls talking. What was even scarier was that Haku decided to join in with Tenten and Temari. In the Hyuga compound, Neji felt a cold shiver down his spine. I fear my fate has changed for the worse, he said to himself. Neji Hyuga was training for the next round of the exam. He was trying to perfect one of the main family's jutsu. So far he wasn't having much luck, but he kept going, unable to sense he was being watched. Phase 1 is ready, Tenten said. Gotcha, time to kidnap the Hyuga, Temari said. With quickness and stealth they nabbed Neji, knocking him out, and then dragging him away. Neji awoke with a groan. He saw that was strapped into a chair. He tried to get out, but he couldn't. No use struggling, Fate Boy, Temari said. Out of the shadows she came with an evil grin. Release me, Neji ordered, glaring at Temari. I don't think so, Tenten said as she too came out of the shadows with the same evil grin as Temari. You! Neji scowled. Yes, us, we're going to make you pay for what you did to Hinata, Temari said. Do you know who I am? Neji asked, glaring at the two girls. We don't give two shits about who you are. You hurt a friend of ours and that means you're going to pay, Tenten, Temari said. Tenten began laying out stuff on a table nearby and she talked while she worked. Now, Temari and I don't really have a knack for genjutsu. But since our lovely and hot fiancé Naruto is a seal master, he has found a way around it, Tenten said. These here are seals made especially to hold jutsus. They are very special and one of a kind since only Naruto can create them. Laid out on the table was several types of seals that the Hyuga had no clue how they worked. But there was so many of them, all lined up and ready to be used. Neji watched this, still unsure what was going on. He kept struggling to get loose, but the ropes never gave. You can stop struggling, those ropes have built-in seals in them. Another little creation by our dear fiancé. The seals in the rope are chakra-suppressing ones. You're totally helpless, Temari said. Neji just glared at them. Tenten finally finished up and she turned around. She had a seal in her hand. Now Neji, be prepared to feel pain, she said. Neji's eyes widened as perspiration appeared on his forehead. He was scared at what these two will do to him. Tenten walked over and ripped off Neji's headband and slapped the seal on his forehead. Neji's eyes went blank. So which one did you start with? Temari asked. Oh, number 42, Tenten said with a grin. Neji blinked as he looked around. He wasn't sure where he was. He tried to active his Byakugan and found he couldn't. This scared him as he slowly made his way in any direction. But he soon found himself trapped. Yosh. Neji froze upon hearing this. It couldn't. No, it just couldn't me. Yosh. There it was again, but louder. Yosh. Neji was panicking now. He began to run, but found he was just running in circles it seemed. Yosh. Soon Neji-sensei appeared in all of his green spandex bowl-haired huge bushy eyebrows glory. Neji, you seem troubled, but never fear for I shall help you release the powers of youth within you. Neji screamed as he was grabbed. His clothes ripped off and replaced with the same green spandex his sensei is wearing. Naruto heard screams inside. He knew it was Tenten and Temari exacting their vengeance. He was reading in the library studying up on some of the more intricate seals used in the compound. Naruto? Naruto looked up to see Gara looking at him. Hey Gara, what can I do for you? The blonde asked. I need your help, Gara said. Oh, with what? Naruto asked. How do you know if a girl likes you and how can you tell if you like a girl? Gara asked nervously. Naruto looked up from the scroll he was reading and blinked. So he's finally figured out something, huh? He thought. What's bring this on Gara? He asked though he knew the reason. It's Haku, she's been very close to me, very close. My sand doesn't react to her, I feel weird around her. I am unsure what this feeling is, Gara said as he stared at his hands, which he was wringing. Oh Gara my boy, you have your first feelings towards a girl. I am so proud, Naruto said in a fatherly way. Gara looked at Naruto a bit scared at the change the blonde had made in his character. Naruto? The redhead asked. Come Gara my boy, I shall teach you the way of the girls, Naruto said. Hey, that's my job, he's my little brother, Kankuro said, storming in. Gara is as much of my brother as yours, Kankuro, Naruto said calmly. Whatever, come on Gara, I'll teach you about girls, Kankuro said as he dragged Gara away. Learn what you can from Kankuro and then come back to me for the right information, Naruto called. Gara was confused as to what Naruto meant. Gara sat down awaiting whatever lessons Kankuro had in mind. The puppeteer came in carrying a large stack of books. Here, read these and you will learn you need to know about women, Kankuro said. Now there was one thing Gara loved to do and that was read. He's read several books and he figured that the books Kankuro gave him were books on relationships and such. What he didn't know was that Kankuro gave Gara a nice stack of Ika. Kankuro was a huge fan of the series and his most prized possession was an autographed copy of a limited edition fully illustrated and colored Ika volumes 1 to 10. The Ika he gave Gara were the common paperback copies Kankuro read. Gara was already on the 5th one when Tenten and Temari came in. Hey little brother, what are you reading? Temari asked as she caught sight of the book in Gara's hands. She then snatched the book and with great strength tore it all to pieces. Tenten helped after seeing the other volumes. She pulled out a katana from one of her scrolls and began to hack, slice and slash the books to confetti. Gara sat there completely shocked at the massacre before him. Gara, why were you reading that filth? Temari asked angrily. Gara was scared. He was scared shitless. I wanted to know more about girls. I went to Naruto. But Kankuro dragged me away telling me it was his responsibility. He gave me the books, he said in one breath. Tenten and Temari growled as they went to Kankuro's room in full righteous feminine wrath. It wasn't long till you heard loud shrill screams. Oh God, no! Stop, please stop, not there! Ah! Please have mercy, mercy! Ah! Gara sat there listening to all this, hearing as Tenten and Temari beat all the stuffing out of Kankuro and maybe have made sure he never, ever breed, ever. So you want to know about girls for real? Naruto asked. Gara turned and found Naruto standing there ignoring Kankuro's cries. Gara just nodded. Good, come on, they're going to be a while longer, Naruto said. The two left the house and Naruto led Gara up to the top of the Hokage monument. They sat down and looked out at the glorious view of the whole village. Okay, well, the first thing you need to know is girls are complicated creatures, so never, and I mean never think you'll ever have them figured out, since if you ever do then you're just fooling yourself, Naruto said. Gara just nodded. Now how can you tell if you like a girl and if a girl likes you? That's two loaded questions, Naruto said as he then began to ponder how to explain these to Gara. Let's start with how you can tell if you like a girl. That's a bit of an easier one, Naruto said. First thing is that you feel kind of nervous around the girl. Your palms get sweaty and you think about her a lot. Your heart races when you think of her. You get tongue-tied when you speak to her. Your stomach turns in knots and feel like you've got butterflies or something whenever you're near her. You notice many little things she does and says. You love hearing her laugh, smile, and hate it when she's upset. You think she's pretty, beautiful, even if she thinks she looks her worst. Gara nodded. Oh, Naruto, those are just the cliched answers. Not to say that they aren't true though. The two boys looked up to see Tenten and Temari. Hey, finished beating on Kankuro? Naruto asked. Yup, that will teach the pervert for trying to corrupt Gara, Temari said. So you want to know about girls, huh, Gara? Well, Temari and I can help you, Tenten said. Temari nodded. She was going to make sure her little brother knew how to treat a girl right. She and Tenten had Naruto pretty well trained and she was going to make sure Gara had that same training. Kankuro was a lost cause. She grabbed Gara's hand and pulled him away. Don't worry, Gara. We won't hurt you at all, Tenten said with a smile. Gara looked very worried as he turned to Naruto for help. He got none. Sorry, Gara. But I've learned not to interfere when Temari or Tenten are on a mission, Naruto said. Tenten and Temari kissed Naruto on the cheek for this, with Tenten kissing Naruto's left and Temari his right. They then took Gara away for his education. Naruto shook his head and wondered if his friend would survive the lesson. Naruto decided during this month to take his girls out on dates. They'd been so busy training and going on missions that they really had no time except to do small little dates here and there. But Naruto wanted to make up for that. He found Tenten and Temari sitting enjoying the backyard. Girls, Naruto said. Hello, Naruto, his two fiancées greeted. I wish to take each of you on a date, Naruto said. This made Temari and Tenten smile. They had such a great fiancé. We accept, Temari said. So who should go first? Tenten asked. I'll leave that up to you and I can plan from there, Naruto said. Tenten and Temari looked at each other, then did rock, paper, scissors. They did best 2 out of 3 and Temari won. She punched the air in triumph. You may have gotten him first, but I'll get him last, and the best, Tenten countered. We'll see about that, Temari said with a grin. The two had a friendly rivalry with each other when it came to Naruto. Naruto sighed and shook his head, leaving the two with their playful taunting. He had a date to plan, 2 of them. Neji awoke twitching. His face was coated with sweat like he had been running a marathon. Wakey wakey cranky ass with no bacon, Tenten said. Neji looked up. Please stop, please, he pleaded. Oh no, we're not through yet, Tenten said. Neji groaned and cried at how fate was messing with him. Now be a good fate boy and open your mind to your next adventure, Tenten said. Kankuro had finally recovered, though he'd be limping around for a good long time and only time would tell if he could ever reproduce. Gara was getting much instruction from both Tenten and Temari on how to treat a lady and everything about girls. He was beet red when they had Haku do the birds and the bees talk. Though Gara wasn't the only red-faced one, since Haku was too, since she was talking about this to Gara himself. Tenten and Temari were very adamant in making sure, so they allowed themselves to be human models, though Tenten was the one used since it would be very weird and then some if Temari did that role. After the talk, Gara couldn't look at Haku, Tenten or Temari at all. What didn't help with that was that Tenten and Temari gave Gara books on the subject too, so he'd be up to date. They even suggest he read them with Haku, which got both of glowing bright red. As that was going on, Naruto took both Tenten and Temari out on dates. Tenten sighed as she rested her head on Naruto's shoulder. The two had just finished having a very nice meal at a restaurant, and were now having a lovely stroll under the stars. Naruto, where are you leading us? Tenten asked as she felt Naruto move them off the main road. To a special spot, Tenten, Naruto said. Tenten trusted Naruto and soon they got there and Tenten gasped. She didn't know there was such a place. In front of her was a lovely park with a waterfall and a very well-tended garden. Naruto, this is amazing, she said in awe. I wanted to find a place for you and Temari, where we could go. I picked this place for you. I found a place for when I go with Temari, Naruto said. Tenten pressed her lips onto Naruto's cheek. We've trained you well, she said. Naruto just chuckled. The couple then went and found a bench and sat down. They had a lovely view of the waterfall and the twinkling stars above. Soon fireflies came out, and it just made the place even more magical and romantic. I can't believe you were able to hide this from Temari and I, Tenten said. Just shows I can, Naruto said with a smirk. Tenten huffed and playfully punched Naruto in the shoulder. With Temari's date, Naruto took her to another nice restaurant. He then led her to a place he had picked out. It was on top of the Hokage monument. Well, behind it, there was a lovely wooded area that had an open canopy with a great view of the starry sky. This amazing, Naruto, Temari said as she looked skywards. Yeah, it is, Naruto said with an arm wrapped around Temari's waist. They stargazed for a while in silence till Naruto broke it. Temari, you and Tenten need to let the Hyuga go, he said. But Naruto, we're still working with him, Temari said. I know that, dear. But you're disrupting his month of training to get prepared for the finals. He may be an asshole. But he's a Konoha shinobi, Naruto said. Temari pouted. Fine, we'll let him go. But that just means we'll nab him again to continue his lessons after the finals, she said. Of course, dear, Naruto said and kissed Temari on the cheek. Neji awoke and found he was in a training ground. He slowly got up, very wary that this might be a trap of some kind. He then found a note beside him. He picked it up. Hyuga, you're granted a small reprieve since you'll need to train for your fights in the finals. But that doesn't mean you're off the hook. Once the finals are over, you're ours again. Use your time to train wisely. TT. Neji shivered as he headed back to the Hyuga compound to take a long shower and cry for a while. Gara was walking down the road when he heard a familiar giggle. He followed it, and found Jiraiya crouched down peeking. Gara narrowed his eyes since he remembered Haku telling him that she was going to the hot springs today, so Gara used his sand and a huge fist erupted from the ground right under the toad sage. This sent him flying over the fence. There was screams and soon Jiraiya was the one scream as he was getting beat up. Gara walked away whistling. Hey brat, why'd you do that? Jiraiya asked. Gara looked at the freshly beaten Sannin. You were peeking in on Haku. I was merely defending her honor, he said. Haku? Jiraiya asked. Yes, Haku, Gara said. So, you finally got a girl, my boy. I am here to give you whatever advice you need on how to handle women. I am a ladies' man, Jiraiya said with a grin as he threw an arm around Gara's shoulders. I don't need any advice, I have enough already, Gara said, shrugging off Jiraiya's arm. Come on, brat, I can teach you all you need to know, Jiraiya said. You mean all that's perverted, Temari said. Hello, Temari, Gara greeted. Gara, Temari said. Oh, it's you, Jiraiya said. Yes, it's me. And you will not try and corrupt my brother. Tenten and I already prevented you from corrupting our Naruto. We don't need your filth covering Gara. It's already consumed, Kankuro, Temari said. My filth? Jiraiya asked. Yes, your filth, your Ika, Temari said as she spat out the book title. How dare you call my books filth? They are all works of art, written by a genius, that is I, Jiraiya said. They're just horrible smut, that's what they are, Tenten said. Pervy sage, what are you doing here? Naruto asked. Tenten and Naruto were on their way back from grocery shopping. Brat, how many times have I told you not to call me that? Jiraiya asked with a vein pulsing out. I'll keep calling you that until you stop your peeping, Naruto said. Never! Jiraiya exclaimed. Tenten and Temari shook their heads. Temari and Tenten were walking enjoying the night. Naruto couldn't join them since he was training with Jiraiya. Hey, what's going on there? Tenten asked. They saw a girl running away as fast as she could. Tenten and Temari jumped in and found it was Kunoichi from sound that they saw get beaten. Hey, are you alright? What going on? Tenten asked. Please, you got hide me, the girl said, breathing hard. Why, who is chasing you? Temari asked. Come out wherever you are, kin. You can only hide from me for so long, a creepy voice called. Temari pulled out her fan as Tenten got some kunai out. Soon another sound shinobi appeared wearing a jounin outfit. There you are, kin, the jounin said. Kin just shrunk, hiding behind Tenten and Temari. Just what is going on here? Temari asked. He's trying to kill me, Kin said. I understand a jounin sensei being upset for losing in the prelims of the Chunin exams. But killing is extreme, Tenten said. No, he's trying to kill me. That's Orochimaru, Kin said. The sound jounin peeled away their disguise. That's not very nice, Kin, my dear. But it won't matter, you'll be dead soon, as will these two, the snakes, Sannin said. Tenten and Temari tensed since they both knew they were no match against the Sannin. Bring down the house jutsu. That shout made Orochimaru jump away just in time before he could get squished by a huge toad. It barely missed Tenten and Temari though. Are you girls alright? Naruto asked, appearing. We're fine, Naruto, Tenten said. Yeah, we just got almost crushed by a huge toad, Temari said, glaring at Jiraiya, who had appeared. The toad sage and the sake Sannin stared off against each other. I knew you'd show yourself sooner or later, Orochimaru. Jiraiya said. Ah, Jiraiya? How nice to see you, Orochimaru said. Kid, take your 2 girls and leave, Jiraiya said. Naruto nodded and took both Tenten and Temari's hands. They grabbed Kin's and they left the 2 Sannin. Okay, what's going on here? Naruto asked. They were back in the Namake's compound. Well, we were just walking and ran into this girl, Tenten said. Kin was scared. It's okay, you're safe. We won't hurt you, Naruto said gently. Kin then told her tale about how Orochimaru started up the Sound Village, how his goal was to destroy Konoha, how she and her team were killed after the prelims to be used for the invasion that Orochimaru was planning. She spilled everything she knew. The 3 stood there listening. We need to tell this to the old man, Naruto said. Tenten and Temari nodded. Well then let's go, Jiraiya said. This made the 4 jump and turn to the Sannin. When did you get back here? Temari asked. Just a little while ago. That snake bastard didn't want to stay and fight, Jiraiya said with a growl. After that they went to see the Hokage and Kin told him everything. I see, Hiruzen said. Old man, I want to put Kin under my protection, Naruto said. Why do you want to do that, Naruto? Hiruzen asked, but before Naruto could answer he was stopped. Excuse me, Lord Hokage, but can we talk to Naruto for a moment? Temari asked. Hiruzen saw the looks on both Tenten and Temari's faces and knew not to interfere. He nodded and the 2 girls dragged Naruto away to another part of the room. Naruto, are you out of your mind? Temari asked. What do you mean? Naruto asked. Naruto, you want to put this girl under our clan's protection even though her village is planning to invade our village, Tenten said. Yes, so? Naruto asked. Tenten and Temari sighed. Look, Kin doesn't want that. She had told us all about the plan going on. She doesn't want any part of it. And I think she would make a good addition to the village, Naruto said. But she can't be trusted. She betrayed her village and that means she's willing to betray again, Temari said. I trust she won't, Naruto said. How can you say that, Naruto? Tenten asked. I don't know. I just know that I can trust her, Naruto said with a shrug. Again the 2 girls sighed. Fine, but we're going to keep a very close eye on her, Temari said. Tenten nodded in full agreement. Naruto nodded knowing that it would be the case. They then returned to stand in front of the Hokage. So, do you still want to put Kintsuchi under your clan protection? Hiruzen asked. Yeah, I do, old man, Naruto said. Very well, let's get the paperwork done, and then I need to make plans, Hiruzen said. Kin was so surprised that this boy was standing up for her. She bowed her head. Thank you so much. You won't regret this at all, she said earnestly. We better not. But for now, welcome to the Uzumaki clan, Tenten said. So Kin was led to house and introduced to Kankuro, Gara and Haku. The rest of the month the team planned on how to counter the invasion. They knew this would be tricky and Naruto moved everywhere and placed seals all over that would be traps. He of course let loyal leave shinobi where they are so they wouldn't trigger them. It was the day of the Chunin finals and there was excitement in the air, though to Team Firestorm they were tense, since they also knew that today the invasion would happen. They all checked and made final preparations. Kin was ordered to stay inside the compound. She sulked a bit since she hated being cooped up inside. When do you think the invasion will start? Temari asked. Don't know. Even Kin didn't even know that. We're just lucky that Orochimaru loves to monologue before he kills someone. He gave Kin a lot of his plan, Naruto said. Come on, we better get going, Kankuro said as he shifted the puppet on his back. Haku and Gara shared a hug before parting. Be safe, Gara. I know your sand will protect you, but I still worry, Haku said. Be careful yourself, Haku. I don't want to lose you, Gara said as he caressed Haku's cheek. It's so cute. Gara has grown up so much. I'm so proud, Temari said. Tenten smiled too as she watched the scene. Haku was stationed in the stadium to be part of the medic staff. Team Firestorm sat there in the stadium waiting for the matches to start. They tried to calm themselves so they wouldn't be suspicious. The matches began and the 5 watched each of the fights getting into them. Ugh, that lazy bum, he gave up, Temari said as she watched Shikamaru forfeit his match. Well, he is in Nara, but I think he figured something out, Naruto said. I still say he's a lazy bum, Temari said. He was a bit out of his league facing that waterfall, Tenten said. The matches continue, then the wait for Sasuke's match. Well, he's out of the running to be a Chunin for being this late, Gara said. Yeah, but a part of the blame is put on Kakashi since he's making his student late for his match, Tenten said. Soon Sasuke appeared and the match began. But the match didn't last long since feathers began to fall. Genjutsu, it begins, Gara said as he dispelled it. The others nodded as they dispelled the jutsu too. Smoke erupted from the Kage booth. Shit, you guys help wherever you can. I'm helping the old man, Naruto said, dashing off before Tenten or Temari could even make a move to stop Naruto. Damn it, Naruto, Temari growled. Fights began to break out all over the stadium as well outside it too. Today's the day, sensei. Today's the day you die, Orochimaru said after he revealed himself from his disguise. That ain't going to happen, Naruto said. Naruto, what are you doing here? Hiruzen asked, shocked. Helping you, old man, Naruto said. Naruto, this too dangerous, Hiruzen said. I'm just here to back you up, old man, Naruto said. A little brat thinks he can take on the mighty Orochimaru, the snake Sannin crowed. He then did some hand signs and 4 coffins rose from the ground. One coffin had a kanji of a 1, the second had a kanji of a 2, the third had a kanji of a 4, and the 4th coffin had a red swirl. Orochimaru, you fiend, how dare you defile the dead? Hiruzen shouted. What's going on, old man? Naruto asked. Naruto, the jutsu Orochimaru is using was created by the second Hokage, one of my teachers. It's a vile jutsu that brings the dead back, Hiruzen said. Now time for you to meet the past, sensei, Orochimaru said with a sinister smirk. But some unseen force struck the 3rd coffin with the kanji of a 4 on it, and the coffin was obliterated till there was nothing left, not even a shard of wood. What the? Orochimaru said, shocked. Meanwhile, throughout the village, fights were going on all over. Konoha shinobi were fighting Nin, but on the wall there was more trouble. Sir, Iwa-nin are trying to breach the wall, a Chunin reported. Damn that, Orochimaru, Ibiki said. How are Iwa-nin attacking us? A Chunin asked. Orochimaru must have made some kind of contact with them, Ibiki said. What are we to do? The Chunin asked. I'll take care of it, Gara said. He then got on the wall and began to defend the wall with his sand. He was using his sand to deflect against the boulders Iwa-nin were hurling at the wall. The sand would stop the flying boulders and then hurl them right back at the throwers. Tenten, I need some help here, Gara called. Got it, Tenten said. She ran up the wall and then opened one of her sealing scrolls. She unleashed a huge barrage of kunai. But they all landed at the feet of the Iwa-nin. You missed, Gara said. Did I? Tenten said with a smirk. Soon those kunai exploded, knocking back the Iwa-nin into the trees hard. Naruto's explosion tags? Gara asked. Yup, Tenten said with a smile. Gara was still looking at Tenten when a Nin tried to sneak up on Gara. He lunged to attack, but was stopped short and fell to the ground. Gara turned and saw the down Nin with Saban needles in his neck. He turned to find Haku standing there with Saban needles between her fingers. Haku, I had it covered, he said. Gara darling, I know you did, but isn't it better for me watching your back than your sand? Haku asked. You can always watch my back, Haku, Gara said. Good answer, Gara, Tenten said. Temari was swinging her fan blowing away Nin, but then an explosion was heard and a giant snake was causing havoc. Oh great, more bad news, Kankuro grumbled. Never fear, for I, the great gallant Jiraiya, is here. The Toad Sannin announced. I don't know whether to be happy for this or not, Temari said. How could this happen? Orochimaru asked, still shocked that one of his coffins had been destroyed. You tried to mess with Death, my old student. He doesn't take too kindly in taking what is his, Hiruzen said. It doesn't matter. I have more than enough still to kill you and that brat, Orochimaru said arrogantly. The coffins opened and inside there was Hashirama Senju, Tobirama Senju and Kushina Uzumaki. Mom! Naruto said, stunned. He had seen pictures of his mom in the compound. His sight then turned black, and when Naruto's vision cleared he was somewhere he didn't know. Where am I? He asked. You're in your mind, Kit. Naruto turned to find a huge fox in a cage. Kyubi, he said. Hey Kit, the giant fox said, raising one its giant paws in greeting. What do you want, fox? I am kinda in the middle of something. Naruto asked. Kit, I sense some of my lingering chakra in your mother, and I know a way to bring her back, Kyubi said. Why should I trust you? Naruto asked. It's either trust me or fight against her, and I can tell you that you have no way of beating her. Even though you're quite strong, she's in a different league altogether, Kyubi said. Naruto decided to take a risk. Fine, but this better not be a trick, he said. I swear on my 9 tails that I am being truthful, Kyubi said, holding up its paw like it was taking a solemn oath. So, how should we go about this? Naruto asked. Real world. A dark red aura surrounded Naruto, and Hiruzen got frightened since he felt the malicious intent of the Kyubi. Even Orochimaru, feeling the malicious chakra, was getting a bit edgy. Naruto? He asked. It's alright, old man, still in control, just going to take care of something, Naruto said. He then dashed off quickly to only be seen as a red blur. He snatched Kushina from her coffin, and then the red chakra began to pour into Kushina's body. Kushina started to move, and then she woke up. Her eyes opened. What's going on? She asked tiredly. Hi, Mom, Naruto said with tears in his eyes. Naruto? Kushina asked weakly. Mom, you're still pretty weak from being brought back from the dead, Naruto said. He knew he needed to get his mom to a safe place, so he sped off with one of his tails holding her. He ripped through the barrier, which shocked everyone. The barrier barely had time to reconstruct itself when Naruto returned, though he just made another hole instead of using the same one. This put a lot of strain on the barrier, with it being ripped open twice in a matter of seconds it seemed. Alright, now that that's settled we can begin, Naruto said. Naruto, what did you just do? Hiruzen asked, stunned. I just got my mother back, Naruto said with a smile. Orochimaru was quite shocked by all this. He had never seen anything like it. But he'd think about it later. He pulled out 2 kunai ready to insert them into the 2 dead Kage. But before the 2 dead former leaders could even move, 2 red tails flared out and wrapped around the 2 former leaders, and the corrosive nature of Kyuubi's chakra destroyed them. Orochimaru was shocked seeing this and glared at Naruto. Now that's quite unfair, Naruto said as the 2 red tails disappeared. Naruto? Hiruzen asked, a bit scared. Don't worry, old man, I'm still in control. Now let's take care of this snake bastard, Naruto said as he got into a fighting stance. Gara was still manning the wall with Haku. Tenten had left to help elsewhere. Gara dear, we're going on a real date after this, Haku said as she flipped her sweaty black hair back. Of course, dear, Gara said as he created a wave of sand to swallow up some iwa-nin. I want to go to a nice place, Haku said as she hurled a couple of saban, knocking out more iwa-nin, trying to break the wall down. Yes, dear, Gara said. Several boulders flew by and were on their way to hit Haku. But Gara grabbed Haku with a tendril of sand and pulled her out of the line of fire before she was crushed. Gara, Haku said. Gara smiled as his sand swallowed up the iwa-nin that tried to crush his Haku. Hey, look boys, a little kunoichi. Let's have some fun with her before we kill her, a sound-nin said with a smirk. His companions shared his smirk. Oh dear me, what am I to do? Tenten asked in the fakest damsel in distress tone. The sound-nins moved in, grinning like jackals till they all got tied up like turkeys ready to roast. Tenten had placed seals that contained traps and let herself be bait for the idiot sound-nin that thought they could take her. Now I think you were talking about a little fun. Well, I want my fun too, Tenten said with a vicious grin. The sound-nins all shrank with fear as Tenten descended upon them with a big ominous shadow. The sounds of their scream could be heard all over the village. Jiraiya had summoned a huge toad to take on the invading snake. He himself was fighting several sound-nin. I think all of sound is empty. This has got to be all of their forces, the sound-nin said. He's nuts to think we can destroy the village with an overwhelming force, Temari said. My old teammate was always a bit screwy in the head. All-powerful shinobi, Jiraiya said. Even Kankuro? Temari asked. Jiraiya hesitated on this. Hey! Kankuro shouted as he was insulted. Sir, the evacuations are complete. Every civilian is in the bunkers, a Chunin said. Good, now we can start letting loose, Ibiki said with a grin marring his scarred-up face. Naruto and Hiruzen were having a very hard time fighting Orochimaru, but the snake Sannin had underestimated Naruto very much, and now was paying for it. He was getting tired and knew he couldn't go on much longer. But he had one sole task and he was going to do it. He opened his mouth and Kusanagi came out and shot out right at Hiruzen. Naruto leapt in front of it, taking it in the stomach. Naruto! Hiruzen shouted. Hey, saved you, old man, Naruto gasped, then coughed up some blood. Orochimaru wasn't pleased he hadn't killed his sensei. But he had eliminated Naruto, so that was something. He just knew Naruto would be a pain in his rear if left alive. He tried to remove Kusanagi from Naruto, but the boy had a firm grasp on the blade. He had to let it go of the sword, and it angered him so since he liked that sword a lot. We're leaving, he announced to the 4 sound-nin holding the barrier. The 4 sound-nin were happy to hear this since they weren't sure how much longer they could have held the barrier since Naruto's exit and entry he had done took a lot of chakra out of them. All over Konoha was fighting back and winning. They killed all the sound-nin that had invaded their village and took out the iwa-nin too. Now it was time to recover and rebuild. Tenten and Temari immediately rushed off to see how Naruto was doing since they felt a shiver down their spine. They knew something happened, and it was something bad. They found Naruto in Hiruzen's arms. Kusanagi had been pulled from Naruto, and Hiruzen had done a bit of healing to stop the bleeding. Naruto! The 2 girls shouted. Naruto laid on a hospital bed with tubes and wires all attached to various parts of his body. He looked so still that it appeared that he was asleep or dead. It scared both Tenten and Temari to see Naruto so motionless and pale. They held on to Naruto's hands in hopes of reaching him somehow. Gara was leaning against the wall keeping a watch on the room. Kankuro was doing the same. In the same room was Kushina, who was recovering from her being brought back to life. Team Firestorm was shocked seeing Kushina alive and knew Naruto had something to do with it. But they knew they wouldn't be able to get any answer till Naruto was healed. They would just have to wait. Haku entered looking tired. What is it, Haku? Gara asked. The poison is beyond my expertise. The only one that can figure it out is Lady Tsunade, Haku said. Then we drag her back to heal Naruto, Tenten said, standing up. Temari nodded furiously as she stood up too. We need to find the pervy sage, Temari said. Hey, I'm right here, Jiraiya said, poking his head in. He was just outside the wall by the window of Naruto's room. Then what are we waiting for? Let's go, Tenten said. Gara nodded and was going to get ready too. Gara, I want you and Kankuro to stay here and watch over Naruto till Tenten and I get back with Tsunade, Temari said. Are you sure? Gara asked. We're sure, Gara. We need to do this, Tenten said. Gara just nodded. Let's go, Temari said. She and Tenten left with Jiraiya grumbling about being bossed around, but followed them out knowing that he had no real choice at all. It was either follow them or receive a beating and then follow them. Jiraiya, Tenten and Temari were on the road. After Jiraiya cleared the mission with Hiruzen they left. So where do we look first? Temari asked. Wherever gambling is and alcohol flows, Jiraiya said. You can't be serious, Tenten said. Hey, Tsunade does have that great nickname, Jiraiya said. What is it? Temari asked. Legendary sucker, Jiraiya said with a smirk. Tenten groaned. She idolized Tsunade and so she knew all about Tsunade's obsessive gambling and how bad she is at it. She had forgotten about it till now since she had been so busy and everything. But now it was all flooding back to her. That can't be it, Temari said. It is. Tsunade Senju is a terrible gambler. She has the worst luck, Tenten said. Well, here we are, feeling nostalgic? A tall man asked. No, why? A shorter man asked. Don't know, you are back home, the tall man said. I don't care, let's get this over with, the shorter one said. We'll be staying here for now. I need to check on one of my sources, Jiraiya said. You mean go spy on naked women, Tenten growled. Jiraiya shrugged and off he went. I wish we didn't need the pervert to find Tsunade, Temari said. Me too, but this is for Naruto, Tenten said. I know, Temari said. They then headed to their room. Meanwhile back in Konoha, Gara and Kankuro were stopping to get something to eat. Hey you two. Kankuro looked up to see Asuma Sarutobi and Kurina Yuhi. Hello, Gara greeted. So how is Naruto holding up? Asuma asked. Asuma knew Team Firestorm well enough since his father, Hiruzen Sarutobi, has spoken about them a lot and of Naruto. He's holding up, but we really need Tsunade Senju here, Gara said. Asuma nodded as he lit up a cigarette. We best get back, we shouldn't tarry from our post long, Gara said. You just want to get back to Haku, Kankuro said with a grin. Yes I do, Gara said honestly. So the two left. They got to Naruto's room and found mayhem. What the? Kankuro asked. Inside, Kushina had awoken and was fighting two men in black robes with red clouds on them. You're not taking my baby, you bastards, Kushina growled. Damn, what are we going to do? The taller figure asked. We must retreat. We're not strong enough to fight her, the shorter figure said. But she just got up. How much trouble can she cause us? The taller figure said. Then by all means, go and try it, the shorter figure said. What the tall figure got was a shellacking he'd never forget. He was beaten with Kushina's bare fists since she had no weapons. The taller figure limped back to his partner. Told you, now we must leave. Our presence has probably already been noticed, the shorter figure said. It has, Soda Yuri, Gara said. The shorter figure turned to see Gara and Kankuro standing at the door. Gara, it has been a long time. I'm glad you're well, Soda Yuri said. And you look well too, Soda, Gara said. Now Team Firestorm knew Sota since was one who used to watch over them when they went out on missions early in their team history. Who's his, the shark face? Kankuro asked. Her name is Kisame Hashigaki, brat, the tall figure, Kisame said. Kushina looked at the four in front of her not knowing what was going on. But that didn't matter, she was going to protect her son. She glanced at Naruto laying in bed and felt her heartstrings get pulled. Just what happened to him to end up in this condition? Back with Itachi, Kisame, Gara and Kankuro, the four were just staring at each other. We must leave, Kisame. Umbu will be here soon, Sota said. Che, fine, Kisame said. They rushed and broke through the window. Kankuro ran to give chase, but stopped when he noticed Gara wasn't following. "Hey Gara, what's up?" he asked. "We're in no shape to go after them. Sota is still stronger than us, and Kisame is an unknown. We could be running into a trap," Gara said. Kankuro paused for a moment, and thought about it, then nodded. His younger brother was right. "Who are you two?" Kushina asked. "Oh boy, this is going to be a long story," Kankuro said. "She'd better be here," Temari grumbled. Tenten agreed. So far the two and Jiraiya had been on the road a good couple of days, hitting several towns that had casinos and bars along the way, and still no sign of the slug Sanin. This annoyed the two girls since they wanted to find Tsunade quickly and drag her back to Konoha to heal their Naruto. They knew each moment they weren't able to, that Naruto was that much closer to death. They wouldn't let that happen. How can she be so freaking hard to find? Tenten asked with great annoyance. Tsunade has perfected several genjutsu to evade her debt collectors, not to mention she can put the fear into any man with her monstrous strength and super violent temper, Jiraiya said. "You of course have had first-hand experience in that," Tenten said. Jiraiya said nothing on this. "And she's the only one that can heal Naruto?" Temari asked. "Yes, she is. Lady Tsunade is the best medic in the whole world despite all of her shortcomings," Tenten said. "We better find her fast. Who knows how long Naruto can hold out," Temari said. Tenten nodded. Back in Konoha, Kushina was sitting in bed. Gara and Kankuro had pulled up chairs. The three were having some tea that Haku had made. Haku was shocked and surprised to see Kushina awake and moving. She did several scans and was surprised by the results. It baffled her and the other doctors when she showed them her results. They even had to do their own scans on Kushina since they at first didn't believe her. After all the poking and prodding, Kushina got fed up with it, and threw them all out, though she was gentler with Haku, so she could have some rest and find out what the heck was going on. "Now tell me what's going on," she asked/demanded. "It's a long story, so please bear with us," Gara said. Kushina nodded. So Gara began to tell everything that has happened. Kushina was shocked hearing all of this. "Damn it, Minato, I knew this would happen. You just had to put faith in a village that would never understand," Kushina said, shaking her head. "Yes, but Naruto never let their hatred consume him," Gara said. "You're right," Kushina said with a nod, and happy that her little boy didn't let others' hatred cloud him. When Gara came to the part of Naruto marrying Tenten and Temari, that's when Kushina hit the wall. Her ire broke the meter. Her long red hair began to wave in an imaginary breeze. The amount of ki that was emitting from her being was intense, as it encompassed a large radius. "He's what?" she roared. Kankuro ducked behind Gara, hoping his little brother's sand would protect him. Gara sat there trying to stay calm, but he was scared like all heck with the amount of rage Kushina was pumping out. Not even Tenten and Temari's anger ever reached this level. Even Ichibi was scared. Inside Gara's mind you would see a giant raccoon huddled in the corner muttering over and over, "There's no angry redhead. There's no angry redhead. I'll kill you, Jiraiya, for turning my precious baby boy into a pervert," the fiery redhead shouted. Jiraiya felt a cold shiver run down his spine, like the Shinigami itself had passed over him. "Something wrong?" Temari asked. "I feel like I'm not going to live much longer," Jiraiya said in a solemn tone. Tenten and Temari looked at each other, then shrugged. "You probably pissed some powerful woman off," Tenten said. "As long as she doesn't kill you before we find Tsunade, then we'll be fine," Temari said. "Don't you care about me at all?" Jiraiya asked, whining. "No," the two girls said plainly. Jiraiya fell to the ground and curled into a ball, crying and muttering, "No one cares about the great toad sage." The two girls of course ignored this. It took some time to calm Kushina down. Haku had to come in and sternly tell Kushina to calm down since she still needed to rest and recover. "Okay, who are the bastards that did this to my son?" Kushina asked in a snarl. "The contract he has with Tenten, I believe, came from the Uzumaki side," Gara said. Kushina blinked, then tapped her finger to her chin in thought. "Oh yeah, it did," she said. Kankuro's sweat dropped at this. "As for the contract with my sister, it was arranged by the fourth Hokage and my father," Gara said. "Damn it, Minato, you had to offer my baby to strengthen ties between the two villages," Kushina growled. "It has all worked out though. Because of this I am not the weapon my father had wanted to make me into. I now have friends," Gara said. He then went on to tell Kushina about their team forming and how they trained bring everything back to now. Kushina sat there absorbing it all. She felt extremely sad that she wasn't around to take care of Naruto when he most needed her, but was proud that he's grown up so well, though she wasn't pleased with him having to marry two girls even if one of them was due to an Uzumaki contract. Naruto was much too young in her mind for that shinobi or not. Her eyes went to where Naruto was lying and it wrenched her heart badly to see her baby so still and pale. So who is this Soda guy? Kushina asked, trying to get her mind off the condition of her son. Soda Yuri is a missing nin from Konoha. He tried to kill me and then tried to kill Naruto multiple times. But both attempts failed, so he fled. He was labeled a missing nin by Konoha. He's an S-class missing nin, Gara said. I see, so what are his skills? Kushina asked. Shouldn't you be resting? Kankuro asked. Not when my baby boy needs protection. As a mother I'll protect him no matter what, Kushina said firmly. Soda's skills are high-level kenjutsu as well as a huge chakra pool to draw from. Not as big Naruto's or myself, but close to it. He can decimate a small army with his kenjutsu. He uses his kenjutsu and mixes genjutsu into it to freeze his opponents just enough so he can take them out. He's said to be very skilled in genjutsu, though he has good skill in ninjutsu too, Gara said. Looks like I'll need to brush up on my kenjutsu to fight him, Kushina said. Oh my, it's true, Kushina, you're alive. Kushina turned to see in the doorway one of her closest friends. Miki? She asked. Mikoto Uchiha nodded as tears pooled in her eyes. She ran over and Gara and Kankuro moved out of the way to let the two greet each other. The two women hugged as tears flowed. You're dead though, I know. I was at your funeral, Mikoto said tearfully. I was dead. But Naruto somehow brought me back. I am not sure how, but as soon as he wakes up I'll ask him, Kushina said. The two women looked at Naruto's bed where he was lying. Okay, here we are, Tenzaku Town. Let's get started on looking for Tsunade, Jiraiya said. And hopefully she'll be here, Temari said. Yeah, this is getting ridiculous, Tenten said. Okay, you know the drill. Look into every bar and casino. Meet back here in an hour, Jiraiya said. Tenten and Temari nodded and they dashed off. 3 hours later and no luck, and it was getting dark. So Jiraiya suggested they get something to eat. They headed to the nearest place. Jiraiya did a double take when he entered the restaurant. He then put on a suave, charming smile and sauntered to a table. Tenten and Temari were confused, but followed after the toad sage. Tsunade, fancy meeting you here, Jiraiya greeted in his charm the socks off a woman voice. Tenten and Temari got their first look at the legendary slug princess. She had blonde hair tied in a ponytail. She had a great big bust that Jiraiya was of course leering at. Tsunade looked at Jiraiya and gave him a glare since she knew what he was staring at. What are you doing here, pervert? She asked with a growl. Why, Tsunade, is that any way to treat an old friend like me? Hello to you too, Shizen, you've grown into a fine young woman, Jiraiya said. Tenten and Temari took notice of the woman by Tsunade. She had short black hair and holding a pig in her arms. Lord Jiraiya, Shizen greeted. Who are these two? I highly doubt that sensei would trust you with two girls, Tsunade said, eyeing Tenten and Temari. I am highly offended, Tsunade. You think I am that perverted? Who do you think I am? Orochimaru. I am not into pedophilia, Jiraiya said. In a dark lair the snake Sanin let out a big sneeze. Then who are they? Tsunade asked. Tenten and Temari stepped up. My name is Temari. I am the daughter of the Kazekage, also a member of a Konoha/Suna joint team. Team Firestorm, Temari said. My name is Tenten, a member of the Konoha/Suna joint team. Team Firestorm, Tenten said. A joint team, what's this? Tsunade asked. Mind if we have a seat, Tsunade? We've been on the road all day? Jiraiya asked. Tsunade waved her hand and they all took a seat. Jiraiya, with the help of Tenten and Temari, told Tsunade how Team Firestorm came about. I see, interesting. But what does this have to do with me? Tsunade asked. We were invaded by Oto and IWA during the Chunin final, Tsunade. Orochimaru tried to kill Sensei, Jiraiya said. Tsunade paused for a moment. As much as she disliked Konoha and all it took from her, she did still care about her old sensei. Is he? She asked. No, he survived, Jiraiya said. Tsunade let out a breath she didn't know she was holding in. We need you to return, Lady Tsunade, Tenten said. No, Tsunade said. Please, our fiancé is stricken with a deadly poison and you're the only one who can save him, Temari said. The answer's still no, Tsunade said as she sipped her sake. So that's it? That's all we get? We traveled God knows how many miles and days to find you and you say no. You're a cold, heartless bitch, Temari growled. What was that? Tsunade growled. You heard, Temari, you old bat. I thought that I'd thrilled meeting you, that you'd live up to some kind of expectation of mine. But I find you're nothing but a big disappointment, Tenten said, frowning at Tsunade. Old bat, Tsunade growled as a tick mark appeared on her forehead. Jiraiya gulped. He knew Tsunade was touchy when it came to her age. Our Naruto is in the hospital struggling to live. He did all he could to protect the village, the Hokage Temari said. The Hokage? That's a fool job, Tsunade snorted. You dare to disrespect your own sensei, and not only him, but your grandfather and granduncle. I see how the mighty slug princess has fallen now into a gambling drunkard, Temari spat. Watch your mouth, brat, Tsunade raged. Why, she speaks the truth. Your family would be very displeased with how you're turning out. You're a disgrace to the Senju clan, Tenten said, and the Uzumaki clan, Temari chipped in. What do you mean? Shizen asked, piping in. Simple. Lady Tsunade is connected to the Uzumaki through Mito Uzumaki, who was married to Hashirama Senju. This strengthened the bond between Konoha and Whirlpool, where the Uzumakis are from, Naruto. And I guess Kushina are the only true Uzumakis left, Temari said. Wait, Kushina Uzumaki's dead. She died the day the Kyuubi attacked, Tsunade said. Now Tsunade knew this since she actually delivered Naruto into the world. She was forced back by Jiraiya since he wasn't going to have anyone do Kushina's checkups. Only Tsunade would do. She's back. Naruto somehow brought her back. But we don't know how since Naruto is poisoned and inches from death's door, Tenen said as she dropped her head to keep the tears back. Temari did the same. Tsunade looked at the two girls, then at Jiraiya, who confirmed things. This made the slug Sannin sigh. Let me think about it, she finally said. This made both girls raise their heads with hope. What are you saying? Temari asked. I hate to admit it, but I am intrigued with Kushina's sudden revival. I want to check this out since there's no way it should even be possible, Tsunade said. And Naruto? Tenten asked. And I'll heal him too while I am there, Tsunade said. This perked the two girls right up with hope. Oh Kushi, I am so happy to see you're alive. I've missed you, Mikoto said with a smile. It's nice to be back, though so much has changed that I don't even know where I belong, Kushina said. Now that's not the Kushi I know. The Kushi I know wouldn't care at all and just push forward everything, be damned, Mikoto said. I guess you're right. As soon as I am able to, I'll get back to training myself. I need to get back into shape, Kushina said. Glad to hear it. Now let me tell you what else has been going on, Mikoto said. She filled her friend in on the Uchiha clan being basically wiped out with the except for herself and her two sons, and the Uchiha were still loyal to Konoha. How she was grooming her son Itachi to take over the Uchiha clan and make it a clan to be worthy of the name Uchiha, while her younger son, Sasuke, had taken his late father's teachings to heart. Mickey, you should give the boy a nice smack around the head to knock that crap out, Kushina said. Only you would suggest violence even against family to help remedy things, Mikoto chuckled. What? Fugaku was a right bastard. What did you see in him? Kushina asked. Mikoto shrugged. In the beginning he was so nice and caring, then he changed, really, she said. The door opened up and Itachi came in. I'm sorry to interrupt, mother, but the council is convening, Itachi said. Alright, Mikoto sighed. Do you know what the council is going to be discussing? Yes, it's about Naruto. Whether to keep him alive or pull the plug. I've heard the civilian council want to pull the plug, Itachi said. Over my dead body. Kushina roared. In the council chamber there was talk of pulling the plug on Naruto. The civilian side of the council was behind this since they wanted to be rid of the demon. The shinobi side were doing their best to stop it, but they were having a bit of trouble till their prayers were answered by a fiery redhead. An intense spike of Ki entered the council chambers. Kushina had stormed into the room, ignoring Haku telling her that she needed rest. Kushina wasn't going to rest when bastards wanted to kill her baby. Who are the fucking bastards that want to kill my baby? She shouted. Everyone in the room lost control of their bowels. Mikoto and Itachi ran and out of breath. They were lucky they didn't lost their bowels like the rest. Well, I am waiting? Kushina asked, tapping her foot. Kushi, is that you? Minazuka asked. Nice to see you, but we can connect later. Right now I want to know who wants to kill my son, Kushina said. And who is your son? Hayashi asked. Naruto, Kushina said. That demon, a council member said. A red blur came right up to the council member, and they were grabbed, then hurled to the stone floor, cracking not only their skull, but snapping their spine. He was dead. Anyone else wants to call my son names? Kushina asked, looking around. No one spoke. Good, now who is it who wants to kill my son? And I want an answer now before I lose my patience. And for those who remember me, they know what I am like when I lose my patience, Kushina said with a vicious growl. The shinobi side had flashes from their past, remembering times when Kushina lost her patience. It wasn't pleasant at all. She beat the shit out of a lot of people till she got the answers she wanted. The civilian council began speaking at once, all pointing fingers at one another. He was the one who thought it up. No, it was Shida, she was the one. I never said anything, it was all of you who were saying it. Shida said. Enough! Kushina shouted, her patience wearing thin now. This made the entire civilian council shut up. Now I want one answer and one only, and it better be the right one or I go into more aggressive persuasion, Kushina said as she cracked her knuckles. It was definitely Haruno. The civilian council shouted as one. The pink-haired council member glared at her traitorous council members. So Sakiri, I see you're still the social climbing gold-digging whore that you were back when we were in the academy, Kushina said. Sakiri sneered at Kushina. I am Councilwoman Sakiri, she said, holding her nose up in the air. Like I give two flying shits, Sakiri. You're still the social climbing bitch that I knew. Hell, you went after Fugaku, Hayashi and even Minato just so you can get your grubby hands on power and money, Kushina said. Ha! She got you there, barked. Mikoto agreed with this, but she did have one question on her mind. Where is the Hokage? Since this deals with one of his ninja, then he should be here. The Lady Uchiha asked. We are the council, we can set up meetings without the Hokage, an arrogant council member said. Oh, you can. I see that I have been quite lax as of late with my handling of the council. But that changes now. Kushina, it's good to see you back, Hiruzen said, appearing. Itachi had notified him via a message with an umbu. Kushina just nodded to Hiruzen. Her full attention was still on Sakiri. So what was this meeting about? Hiruzen asked. This bitch wanted to kill my son, Kushina said, pointing at Sakiri. He's just another worthless ninja. Unlike Sasuke, Uchiha, Sakiri said, regaining her bluster. Hiruzen stroked his beard, then lit his pipe. Naruto along with his team are under not only my authority, but also the Kazekage. The council has no say whatsoever, he said. This caused the civilian side roar with disapproval, with Sakiri being the loudest. Hiruzen silenced them with raising his hand. You forget your place, council. All ninja are under my control and mine alone. The only ones who can also have command of the shinobi forces are the shinobi council, since they are all jounin and clan heads, the wizened leader said. This caused the civilian side to grumble loudly. I also would like to remind you that you're only here as an advisory panel. You hold no real power, no matter what you all may think. I am Hokage and I hold ultimate sway on what happens around here. This is a shinobi village, and it isn't a democracy. It's a dictatorship, Hiruzen said, showing off some of her power to back up his words. The civilian council shrank back at this, while the shinobi side was revalidated as to why Hiruzen Sarutobi was Hokage. Now then, the matter of Naruto Uzumaki is closed. He will remain the way he is. If I catch wind of any attempts on his life, I will see to it that the person or persons responsible to disciplined in a very public way, Hiruzen said. He then left. And if I catch word of any plots on my son's life, I will take action, Kushina said, lacing her words with a heavy dose of ki. This of course put fear into the council. Tsunade sighed as she was walking back to Konoha with her old teammate, 2 girls and her apprentice. She still couldn't believe she was heading back to Konoha, but her curiosity of how Kushina was back alive niggled her mind enough to want to know how. The thought of healing Naruto was far from her mind at the moment. Walking beside her was Shizen, and she was talking to Tenten and Temari to get to know the 2 girls more. Wait, you 2 are contracted to be married and to the same guy? Shizen asked, stunned. What the hell is going on? Has sensei lost it? Tsunade asked as she was listening in on the conversation. No, the Hokage really had nothing to do with it. My contract came from my parents and Naruto's, Tenten said. Mine came from a part of the deal with Suna, Temari said. And what deal is that? Tsunade asked. Both girls didn't answer, and this irked Tsunade. Well, I am waiting, she said impatiently. Not here, we'll tell you back in Konoha. There are too many ears, Tenten said. Tsunade just nodded, though was frowning. She understood not saying anything at the moment, just in case they were being listened in on by other ninja or something. Kushina was back in her hospital bed pouting. After she was done with the council, Mikoto urged her to head back to the hospital. Kushina went back under extreme protest. She felt fine. She wanted to get to training so she could kick some ass and take names. This totally sucks, she muttered as she sat in her hospital bed. You sound just like Naruto. He doesn't like being cooped up at all, Gara said. Really? So what else should I know about my son? Kushina asked. Well, he has a very unhealthy addiction to ramen, Kankuro said. Ramen, I can go for a bowl of Ichiraku right now, the food of gods, Kushina said as she daydreamed out a big huge bowl of ramen. Okay, that's another thing they have in common, Kankuro said. Gara just nodded. Soon the door opened and Kankuro and Gara readied themselves, but then they saw it was Tenten and Temari and relaxed a bit. You're back, Gara said. Yup, and we brought back help, Tenten said. Tsunade entered and her eyes widened at seeing Kushina sitting in bed. Kushina, you're really alive, she said, stunned. Huh, oh hey Tsunade, yup, alive and kicking, Kushina said. Tsunade went over and began to check on Kushina, and the redhead sighed. She was once again be poked and prodded. When Tsunade finished, she turned to Naruto and checked him over. Okay, I can heal this. But it will take time, she said. Lady Tsunade, I heard you were here. It is an honor, Haku said as she dashed into the room out of breath. She had heard of Tsunade and wanted to meet her. I am, and who are you? Tsunade asked. I am Haku. I have been in charge of Naruto's care. If you come with me I can show you all the blood work I have done, Haku said. Tsunade nodded and followed Haku out. You took a long while, Gara said. Yeah, well, blame Tsunade. We had to search every bar and casino there was to find her, Temari said. Well, she's here now, and that means Naruto will be just fine, Kankuro said. Yeah, you're right, Tenten said.